Hi, this is Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. Today I wanted to show off this little Ibanez Mikro bass. This bass came into the shop a number of years ago for some upgrades and a little bit of modification, and the soon-to-be former owner had kind of a particular thing in mind. He had like kind of a little fleet of these Ibanez Mikro basses, and he wanted to kind of turn them into pro instruments with kind of different qualities for each of them. So basically what we did with this instrument when it came in was we replaced the tuners. So these are now Grovers. They move really nice. They're very high quality tuners. They just feel good in your hand, and they just, you know, they work. They do exactly what it says on the tin. They tune the bass, and they do it very well. No little hiccups or little hitches that you sometimes feel in cheaper tuners. We also upgraded the nut. We replaced the plastic nut that was on here with a nice custom bone nut. The bone is a nice hard material, and so it basically kind of lets the strings kind of glide over it a little bit smoother and doesn't tend to grip on them quite as much as plastic does. Plastic tends to kind of pinch the string, meaning when you go to tune it, it doesn't really move smoothly through that slot, whereas with bone, it actually has the chance to kind of glide over that string slot. The other thing with bone is that it's a harder material, and so it transfers energy better, so it's better for tone in these open positions, which is nice. We also replaced the bridge with something that's a little bit better, a little bit more meaty, a little bit more sustain, which is, you know, also very nice. And after that, we just did a setup on it, and took care of any kind of mild fret buzz or anything that it had, and made it into a pretty nice playing instrument. It's a shorter scale bass, and so this is about 28 and 5/8 as far as the scale, the overall scale length. So that would be, you know, around somewhere in between what a Strat would be and most baritone guitars would be at like 30 inches, and the Strat being, you know, 25.5. If you can kind of picture, this would be kind of somewhere in between. So it's a very, very short scale bass. Very, very comfortable though. It's if you're a guitar player that isn't, typically a bass player, this feels right at home. And me being a little shorty, I can actually handle this, and not have my hand way the hell out here like I would on most long scale basses. As far as like how this goes stock control wise, you have independent volume controls for both these pickups. So you have a P bass style pickup up here, and you have a J bass style pickup down here, and you can turn them both up or down independently of each other, which negates the need for any kind of selector switch, since you can kind of turn one all the way off if you don't want that at all, or you could turn it halfway up if you just want a little bit of it, and you can kind of blend them. You can kind of dial in the tone that you want between those two pickups. We also have a master tone, so this is basically our low pass filter like you would see on a guitar tone knob. So this is taking all your highs out and then putting them back, take them out, put them back, so it's pretty basic as far as the controls go too, which is very, very nice. Like, just I love stuff that's just simple and does what it says on the tin. It's a bass. It's got the volumes, it's got the ability to blend, it's got the ability to adjust tone, and it's nice and small and comfortable. This is a great guitar for sitting around the living room and just kind of practicing, when maybe you want something a little bit more compact. It's a great instrument for sitting at home and doing, recording your bass lines, into whatever project you got working on. And honestly, it would be a pretty good gigging bass. Particularly if you're somebody who gets around in kind of a smaller car, or if you have to go around by bus, this might be a little easier for you to deal with when it comes to transport, just again because of the smaller size. It's also a really beefy, well-built instrument. You got a solid, maple neck with, a little scarf joint here for our angled back headstock, which is nice because it puts more pressure down on the nut, more tone and less of those weird overtones that you kind of get in some of the flatter headstock design instruments. And it's a nice small body too, so it travels very, very nicely. As far as what it sounds like, I'll go ahead and I'll play you something just through the P bass pickup, then I'll play you something just through the J bass pickup. I'm not a bass player, so pretty much what you heard at the beginning of the video is about the kind of bass line that I'm capable of playing for you. But yeah, we'll go for it. Incidentally, you're not hearing that hum now because this P bass pickup up here is a split coil. It's actually a humbucking pickup, so if that's something that you care about, that's something that's worth mentioning. And then we'll go ahead and we'll play through the J bass pickup only. This one is not a humbucker, it's just a single coil. And so we do have a little bit of kind of innate hum to this instrument when it's in this setting, but so it goes with all single coil instruments. So yeah, it's a pretty great instrument, pretty nice overall. I really love these things, and I'm actually thinking about buying one of the ones that he put in here on consignment, particularly because it's got a modification on it that I really like. We'll see if I actually end up doing that. I've got such a stable at home, I have to really think about it if I'm gonna bring anything else home. Anyway, they're very nice. I like them a lot. This has been Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. If you enjoyed this video, you found it entertaining, you want to drop me a tip, there's a link to my Ko-Fi and my Patreon in the description of the video. If this instrument is still for sale, there will be an active link to a reverb ad for this particular instrument. If that ad is no longer active, it means that this instrument has been sold. Go ahead and check out my other reverb link down there that just goes to my general store, and you will maybe see some other stuff that interests you. I got other instruments for sale, stuff that's been cannibalized off of things, and other stuff, so check that out. Also in the description you'll find a link to my website that has my pricing info, my contact info, as well as a page that I wrote on caring for stringed instruments. And so, if you have some instruments that you care for, there might be something in there for you. I also recently wrote a long page about, basically everything you could ever want to know about frets, or fret materials, radius differences, and, compound radius, and, going fretless, anything that you could possibly want to know about doing fret work or going fretless, or any of that stuff is contained in that. And you can find that stuff by going to the price page on my on my website and clicking on any of the hyperlinks associated with any of the stuff under fretwork, and it'll take you to that big long page, right to the spot that we're clicking on, relevant to that. So check that out. And again, this has been Drew Jones at Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. Thank you for watching.